Hello, Astros fans. Woo! My name is Lori Herzog, and on behalf of Congregation Beth Yeshurun and the entire Jewish community, I want to welcome you to this special night. I want to thank all of the staff at Beth Yeshurun for pulling together in just 8 days. It's a miracle of Hanukkah, and it's happening here. Our special guest tonight is a nice Jewish boy from Albuquerque, New Mexico, by way of the LSU Tigers and the first round draft choice of the 2022 World Series champion Houston Astros. And the best third baseman in baseball. Mr. Alex Bregman.
Thank you so much.
Yes. I'd like to introduce our host for tonight, Channel 2 News Sports anchor and reporter, Mr. Ari Alexander. And I want to thank all of you for coming tonight. And now I'd like to bring up Rabbi Morgan and Rabbi Fort to do the blessings. Where's Reagan and Knox? Reagan and Knox. Yes, hold on. Let me get Reagan and Knox.
Okay.
1 moment.
You guys on it? Yeah, come on up. Wow, you got it.
Do it?
You can do it.
I just need my mic on. Does this thing work? You want to light it and I'll do it? Or you want to light it? I don't know where my wife is. She's going to come up. She's right here.
What is hyper spit up?
A little spit up. Perfect timing.
It's a baby. That's what they do.
Hey.
You want to light it while I do it? You light that one first, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll light it. All right. Is this thing on? Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Hanukkah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
she'asa nisim lavotenu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh.
Amen. Play ball.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. And happy Hanukkah to everybody.
Thanks for coming to our program tonight. Now that we've lit the candles, as they mentioned, I'm Ari Alexander with KPRC with Astros star third baseman Alex Bregman. We're very happy to be here at the Congregation Beth Yeshurun. Thank you guys for having us and for the opportunity for for us to help represent the Jewish community within sports in the city of Houston. So I guess I can welcome you to a Hanukkah evening with nice Jewish boys. So we've got an hour-long Q&A. We've got a lot of people from the congregation that have sent in questions. We're going to take care of some of those throughout, and then some of the rest of the pertinent ones toward the end. So we're going to kind of go through some different things, and I think the first thing that I wanted to bring up was Alex's bar mitzvah in 2007.
Yes.
Was part of an article. I was doing a little research for this about some of the things that you said at your bar mitzvah. Do you remember what you said at your bar mitzvah?
I actually went over it with my mother today. I called her and told her that we were going to be here tonight, and she said that I said that I wanted to work hard and try and help others. Is that correct?
It's the general version. So I'm gonna give the full version of what 13-year-old Alex Bregman said at his bar mitzvah. When I think about the future and how I can make a difference in the world, I want to be able to use my love of the game of baseball to be a good example and a good person. I want to be a professional athlete who plays for the love of the game, never quits trying to give my best, and is a good role model for all the kids who look up to baseball players.
Now, my mother helped me write that. I don't think I was that talented of a writer, but we worked very hard to create that speech when I was 13 years old and working towards my bar mitzvah. And I see there's a lot of kids in here today, and super excited for all of you guys and girls who will be making your bar and bat mitzvahs here in the future. This is my son's first day actually in synagogue today, and my wife as well, her first time. So thank you guys so much for having us, and I hope so far in my career to have been able to live up to a little bit of what that 13-year-old wanted the older version of me to be. So,
yeah, I mean, 2 World Series titles so far, all of your work with Bregman Cares, and even get to have a little bit of fun with food and stuff. So I would say that, I would hope, right? Like, you think that if you went back, your 13-year-old self met you now, he'd probably be pretty happy how things turned out, right?
You would say you have a lot of work to do and keep going.
That's good. So we're going to start by talking about the present, and then we're going to get into the past and how you grew up and turned into the baseball player, the person that you are. But let's talk about the 2022 season. How rewarding was it to hold up that trophy at the end of the year?
It was amazing. Just thinking back to the day I got to step foot on the field at Minute Maid Park and make my debut. We were playing the New York Yankees. It was 2016, and the only thing on my mind was like, go play and love the game and have fun. And the following year we won the World Series, and then we had gone to 2 more World Series where we lost. And this year we said, that's not happening again. We're winning this year. And it was a complete team effort. So many people stepped up along the entire journey throughout the season, especially in the postseason. And it was amazing to be able to hold up the trophy on the field during the parade and know that we're world champions. And it was a lot of hard work and a dream come true for so many of us, people that have won the World Series before, and people who it was their first World Series, Pena and some of the other guys. It was great to see the joy on every single one of their faces.
Yeah, I want to talk about the way that the season went for you. You started really hot, player of the week right out of the gate, and then struggled for a bit, tinkered with your swing, got real hot, player of the month in August. Going through a 6-month season, you got to keep your body right. You got to keep your swing right. You got to keep your confidence up. What does it take to grind out 162 games?
Yeah, it's a extremely long season, and it's a grind. And a lot of people, when you think about baseball, it's like, well, you're just standing out there at third base, and then you come in and hit. And over the course of 162, it's a long season. It's a grind on your body, but even more so than your body, it's a grind mentally. And I think we can look back at certain times throughout our career when we struggled and kind of pull from those moments and learn how to get out of it, how to get out of a struggle, how to come back from failure, how to deal with failure. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love the game of baseball so much. Like you said, early in the year I struggled. It was one of my normal starts to a season. I feel like for the last 6 years, it started very slow every year. And baseball is a big roller coaster, and you have to be able to deal with failure along the way. So I think over the course of a 6-month season, you always get to show your true self at the end of the year.
When you have an 0 for 4 or 2 0 for 4s in a row, who do you lean on? Who do you talk to when you're having a rough week?
I talk to a lot of people, and it starts at home with the support staff at home. I mean, my wife is my mental coach throughout the season. She's a rock star. She never lets me get too high, never too low. So whenever I have a good game, she's like, hey, you got one again tomorrow, and you better be ready to play. And then whenever I have a bad game, she's there to pick me up and get me ready to go for the next day. So I think it starts with her and your family at home. And then over the course of your career, you get the opportunity to play with amazing teammates and people that you can lean on in times when you need them. And when you're going through a struggle during the season, I call on guys that I've played with in the past, whether it's Brian McCann, Michael Brantley, guys who are on my team now who have been through the ups and downs of a baseball season and have been playing for a while. And very fortunate to be in this organization with such great guys that have dealt with that. And but yeah, it definitely starts at home with Reagan.
Cool thing about Alex, you're very accessible, right? I talk to you 3-4 times a week throughout the season. You're around, you get to see what you do on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and things like that. But I think for many of us, or at least the people that aren't around baseball constantly, you don't necessarily know what it takes in a day. So I want you to kind of take us through a game day. Thursday, you're playing the A's. From start to finish, what does your day look like?
Yeah, so I guess it starts the night before. We get home from the ballpark the night before, and before bed, we'll eat dinner at about midnight when we get back from the ballpark. It's kind of tough to wind down. So I have a physical therapist that is at my house after every game and before every game. So at about midnight to about 2 a.m., I'm doing some tissue work on my hamstrings or my quads or whatever it is to keep myself healthy and keep my muscles relaxed and ready to go. And then sleep is a very important thing for an athlete. And I didn't always used to think that, but I learned that from Justin Verlander, he might be 70 years old now and he's still playing. And so in talking with JV, he said your sleep's really important and you need to focus on it. And so I started sleeping a lot better than I had in the past. I would sleep 6 hours a night when I got into the league. And the reason for that was I was like, you know what? If I'm sleeping, I'm not working at baseball. But in reality, it was better for me to sleep and recover when you play a game every single day. So I'll sleep till about 10 a.m., 10:30. We'll eat breakfast. And then I'll get on the treatment table, and that'll take about 30 minutes. We'll just do some super deep tissue work, and I'll be doing it actively. So I'm basically breaking a sweat before I leave the house. And we'll get to the yard about 1 o'clock. As soon as I get to the yard, we'll get dressed, get changed. We'll go into the cage, start doing some batting practice at about. And that's on your own. You go into the cage and you just take some work off the tee or front toss, and you just get to start feeling your swing. And then after that, we have team practice. We have team stretch at about 4 o'clock. So we'll go out to the line, stretch as a team, throw, take batting practice on the field, which is where a batting practice pitcher will be about 60 or 40 feet away, throw us batting practice, and we'll work on our swing. We'll take ground balls, and we'll go in and start prepping for a game. We'll get a great meal. They take amazing care of us. We have 2 chefs that are incredible. And we'll eat, and then about an hour before the game starts, we'll go into the gym. And when we go into the gym, we'll start going through our warm up the body routines, and it's game time, and repeat that 162 days in a row. So it takes a very strong wife at home to be able to put up with that schedule, because there's not a lot of time during the season for family time, and during the off days and stuff like that, we'll be able to spend a lot of time and together. And she comes on the road a lot whenever we go on the road, so we get to go eat breakfast together in cool cities and have fun. And but it's tough.
I mean, before we get into the end of your season, which started with you having Knox, winning Player of the Month, the playoff run that you had, and then at the end of winning a World Series. I want to give you an opportunity to do this because I think this is kind of cool. So if you guys have ever seen any of these videos, when you ask a quarterback, like, break down a defense, and they'll go in and go, all right, this is a too high shell and all this, stuff that we can't understand. So Alex is a genius when it comes to baseball.
I don't know about that.
In terms of his swing and all these little swing mechanics. And so I want you to explain to everyone here, and I know it's like there's scaploading or something that goes into your swing, so as detailed as you possibly can, to the point of where no one knows what you're talking about, what goes into your swing?
Well, there's a lot, and I'd say first and foremost for us, our swing starts from the ground up, and we want to make sure that we have a good base. And I'll stand up and do this.
All
So,
right, let's do
so I want to. Okay, so if I'm facing the pitcher, if the pitcher's right out that way, I'm trying to make sure that I am in the ground and gripping the ground, right? Because if I'm gripping the ground, I feel like I'm more powerful and I'm more consistent with my swing, okay? So I have a simpler swing than a lot of people. A lot of people have a lot going on with a high leg kick and their hands moving everywhere. Like Altuve, for example. Altuve will leg kick up here and his hands are moving, but he has incredible hand-eye coordination to where if the pitch is up here, if the pitch is on the ground, he can make contact with it and hit it from line to line out of the ballpark. I can't do that. I need to be very simple, because when a guy's 60 feet, 6 inches away, throwing 100 miles an hour with 20 inches of horizontal run in and a slider with 20 inches of horizontal sweep away from me, I need to be able to be as consistent as possible and as A to B as possible. A to B meaning from when I launch to making contact as short of a time as possible. Because every single pitcher nowadays, it wasn't like this when I got into the league. When I got into the league, everyone was throwing 90 miles an hour. Now everyone's throwing 100, so it's a lot tougher. But I'm trying to be very simple. And for me, it's all about my hands. After I set up my lower body, it's all about my hands. And I am trying to take the knob of the bat that I'm holding across my chest without rotating at all. Now, since I was a little kid and I was 5 years old, everyone's told me squash the bug and rotate and turn and use your hips. And I think that kind of got programmed into the system for so long that now all I think about is not rotating.
Okay.
And when I think don't rotate, it's actually better for me because it's natural that we're all going to rotate. So I'm trying to take the knob of my bat straight forward at the pitcher's forehead, and if I do that, I feel like I will be able to hit the ball.
So to add to that, at a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, you have 0.4 seconds to read that the pitch is coming out of the hand, react, swing, and hit the ball. With guys throwing 100, you have about 0.33, so a third of a second to do all that. So in that third of a second, what are you thinking?
Well, we can go deep if you want, but there is a. If you get a scouting report, right, you get to learn basically what every pitcher throws, his whole pitch mix is what they call it, his usage, and you kind of get a game plan before you step up into the box. So when I go up into the box, I'm looking for one pitch in one spot. And if it's not there, I try and take it until I get to 2 strikes. When I get to 2 strikes, I look for his fastest fastball up away, and I try and hit a line drive the other way. Because if I'm on time to hit a fastball the other way, and he throws me a slider or a changeup, I'll be just enough out front to be able to pull the ball. But until 2 strikes, I'm going to pick one pitch in one spot, and if it's not there, I'm going to try and take it. And you guys will have all, they're all like, he's lying. I've seen him swing at stuff that's bounced in front of the plate. And I have many of times.
Hitting is hard.
Hitting is very hard. But that's why the pitchers are so good, is because if I'm looking for a fastball middle away, and it's a curveball that looks like a fastball right out of the hand. Justin Verlander is one of the best in the world at this. His 4-seam fastball looks just like his curveball, so when it starts on the same plane, you have no idea what it is until it gets on plate. So that's why I choose one pitch in one spot, because guys make balls look like strikes and strikes look like balls. And in the minor leagues and in college, they don't do that. They're trying to throw strikes. They're trying to just throw it over the plate. But in the big leagues, they're very, very talented to the point like where they can make a 2-seam fastball look like it's right down the middle, and by the time you swing, it's 6 inches in off the plate. So you have to be really selective, and it's getting way, way tougher to hit.
So, how do you hit a baseball is that whole explanation, essentially, right?
Times a million. If we had an hour, we'd go into it.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to get real deep, and now we're gonna pull back, because in August you had your son Knox, stepped away, and then you came right back, and you had a month so good. You were player of the month, and then toward the end of the year you got hot. How much focus did it help you on being a dad?
Well, it was great. We'll go back to that day. It was one of the best days of my life, honestly. Reagan was such a trooper throughout. And Knox came into the world on August 1st, and by about 11 p.m. that night, I think I had annoyed Reagan so much that she said, "Go back to the ballpark immediately, you're playing tomorrow." I said, "All right." So August 2nd was back in the lineup after one day of paternity leave, and it was honestly the best thing that happened to me that year. We would go 0 for 4 or we'd go 4 for 4, and when we got home, it didn't matter because I was with my son and with my wife and just having the best time of my life. And it kind of simplified everything, made me focus on what was really important, family and friends, and it was awesome. So every single hit down the stretch was credited to those two over there.
So before you were a father, before you were a Major League Baseball player, 2-time World Series champion, you grew up and the only thing you wanted to do was be a baseball player, right? Mm-hmm. So growing up in Albuquerque, there's a lot of kids here. And there's a lot of kids like me. I wanted to be the closer for the Mets when I was a kid. That's clearly not happening because Edwin Diaz throws 101 and I don't. There's a lot of kids here that want to take the path that you did, and it's not easy. So I want you to kind of tell the kids that love baseball, the kids that love pro sports, what you did when you were a kid to prepare yourself for doing this as a real-life career.
Yeah, so growing up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, there's a lot less to do than there is here in Houston, Texas. So I was able to fall in love with the game of baseball because of my dad's love for the game. My grandfather loved the game. My dad loved the game. He actually moved from Washington, D.C. out to University of New Mexico to play when he was in college. And few things there. He quit after his freshman year playing baseball, and he said, "It was the worst decision I ever made in my life. Don't you ever quit at anything." So, all right, that was a different story. But anyway, so that's
there, yeah.
That's kind of his mindset.
Right.
But growing up in Albuquerque, he loved the game of baseball so much, and he wanted me to enjoy it as well. So we would go out and play in the backyard when I was 2 years old, 3 years old. And he put me in T-ball when I was 4 years old. And I feel like just because of his love for the game, I kind of knew the ins and outs of baseball, and that was something that we did bonding-wise. So I kind of knew how to play when all the other kids that were 4 and 5 years old didn't really know the game yet. So my mom always likes to say, like, oh, he was good when he was 4. He turned to triple play by himself. And it was strictly because I knew the rules of the game and none of the other kids did at that point. So I fell in love with the game at an early age. My dad was never my coach. My dad always wanted to be my dad. He wanted to be a support system and build me up with confidence and say that I could do anything I ever wanted to do in the world. He never told me I can't do anything. My mom was the same way. My mom was slightly more realistic because I would be like, Dad, I'm going to play in the big leagues when I grow up. And he's like, yeah, you are. My mom's like, well, you might want to get an education too. Like, let's be serious here. But they never told me no. They always, every single time we had a travel ball tournament when I was 8, they would take me there and we'd be 30 minutes early to every game. And I'm like, why are we 30 minutes early? It's because you need to be early to everything that you do. You need to be there and be prepared. So when I was about 15 years old, I really started to fall in love with the game even more, and I wanted to dedicate my life to it. I started playing travel ball, and I started to get a little bit better at the game of baseball, and it was my days kind of looked like before school at 5 a.m. I'd wake up, I'd go to the gym, I'd go to class until about 2, and then I had a doctor's note, I'm kidding, to go to the baseball academy. I went to the baseball academy right after school when I was 15 years old. And we'd stay there till about 10 p.m. at night when my mom would pick me up. They made sure that I did my homework when I was there. My mom did. And I would practice baseball every single day for all the chance I could when I wasn't in class. And my dad came home one day and he said, you have the opportunity to try out for Team USA. And it's a tournament up in Utah. You can go up there and try out, and it would be an amazing time to go try and make the national team. So you need to work extremely hard if you want to accomplish this. So that's when that kind of schedule and routine came into play of waking up early and going to the gym and going to the batting cage until late at night. And when I got out to Utah, I actually went 1 for like 12, but played good defense, hustled on and off the field, played my tail off. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but played hard. Played my tuchus off. And they said, we want to bring you back for a second tryout. And the second tryout was actually here in Houston, Texas. It was the first time I ever been to Houston, Texas. And it was the tournament of my life. It was kind of like right place, right time. Kind of like one of those moments where like your hard work paid off, and there were probably 30 Division I colleges there, and some reason I was just locked in that day, I guess, and played the best baseball I ever played, and made Team USA, and started getting recruited for colleges. And mentally, in my own head, I'm thinking, hey, I can really do this, and keep doing what you're doing. Keep working hard every single day. Dedicate your life to it, and believe in yourself. And later on, my sophomore year, committed to LSU. I wanted to go to University of New Mexico, and my dad said, no, you need to grow up. You need to go get out of the house, go grow up in Louisiana, and you need to be on your own a little bit. And I went and did that, and really enjoyed my time there. But my high school time was really not much going on in New Mexico, just work hard and love the game.
Did you play other sports?
I played basketball until I was a freshman. I stopped. I kind of just wanted to focus on baseball. My mom never let me play football.
Same. Yeah.
She said, I don't want you getting a concussion or anything like that. And I'd been teasing her since Knox was born that he's going to be the quarterback of whatever team, and she's like, no, he's not. I said, over my dead body.
When you were growing up, what were your memories of celebrating Hanukkah, high holidays, things like that?
Yeah, so we would go to the Temple Albert in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then we'd come home, we'd light the menorah. My mom would cook latkes, and we still actually use her recipe to this day. She actually sent it to Reagan, and I think Reagan might make better latkes than she does.
Oh.
Don't tell her that, but we'd all get around the menorah and open up a present, and we'd invite my cousins over, and we'd all have a blast. It's mostly just family time for us at home.
Yeah. So you went to LSU, and I think one thing I appreciate about you, now I think it's maybe a little bit less publicly since you've won World Series and had all this success, a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. You wore number 30 at LSU. For what reason?
Well, I think growing up in New Mexico, and honestly, this relates kind of to being Jewish as well. There's not many Jewish baseball players in the big leagues. There's not many players from New Mexico in the big leagues. So my dad always told me, like, hey, you gotta be one of the Jewish players in the big leagues. Hey, you gotta be one of the guys from New Mexico in the big leagues. Like, there's not many of them, so you need to have a little chip on your shoulder and go do that. And so I think it started in high school, and then I broke my middle finger my senior year of high school, and I was completely focused. I told Coach Maneri at LSU, I said, if I go in the first round, I'm going to sign out of high school and not come to school. And if I don't, I'll be at LSU, I promise. And so that day, Coach Maneri left my house. My dad said, hey, you gave him your word. You better stick to it. I said, all right. So second day of the season of my senior year in high school, there's 30 MLB teams at my second game, and we're taking ground balls before the game starts, doing great, everything's looking good. They're coming out with the pre-draft mock-ups saying, like, hey, you're going to be the first-round pick, you're going to be a first-round pick, and I take a ground ball and it hits the tip of my finger and I shatter it, and there goes my senior season. And I played that game, and then afterwards my finger just didn't feel good, and I said, Mom, we got to go to the doctor. It's just not, I can't even feel the ball. So we went to the doctor, and he said, yeah, you shattered the tip of your finger, you're done for 8 weeks, and you're going to miss your whole season. So all of these scouts that were there to see me play didn't get to see me play at all my whole senior season, and kind of got passed over. So the draft day comes, and I'm with my family at home. We're watching the draft, and I'm like, I've played with all these guys. I know I'm as good as these guys, and I'm not getting taken. And I get a call from the Diamondbacks at pick, I want to say 26, and a pick with the Red Sox from like pick 27, and they say, hey, we're thinking about taking you here. Will you sign? And I said, yeah, I'll sign. It's the first round. I'll sign. And they don't take me. Next day comes, I get a call at like 6:30 in the morning, and it's the Diamondbacks, and they're like, hey, we'll give you $1 million. Will you come play for us? And I'm like, I want to really bad. And my dad's sitting right there looking at me like, you gave Coach Maneri your word that you're going to go to LSU. You're going to go to LSU. So I said, no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to go. They took somebody else, and I was laying in my backyard staring up at the sky, like crying. Like I did not want to go to school. I wanted to sign pro out of high school. And but he said, hey, you gave him your word. Now go prove all these teams that passed up on you wrong. So went up to LSU and wore number 30 for the 30 teams that screwed up.
That's what I'm saying. I appreciate the level of pettiness there. I love that about you. And same thing with when you ended up playing 3 years at LSU, one of the best college baseball players in the country for 3 years, and you get drafted second overall, which is phenomenal. You are the second highest drafted Jewish draft pick of all time.
Who was first?
You don't know?
No.
Ron Blomberg in 1967. So the only guy is way before either of us were born. Was the only guy drafted number 1, and I think it was the second ever. The MLB draft I think came in '66. So the second ever draft, they drafted a Jewish guy number 1, which is really nice. And then it took however many years until we got to you at number 2.
Until one of you kids get drafted first overall.
And then another
the
decade or so.
player.
But you wear number 2 for the Astros because
I was drafted second.
and not first.
Yeah.
So same level there.
Yeah, I think it just kind of goes back to honestly what we were saying before is like there's not many Jewish players in the big leagues. There's not many players from New Mexico in the big leagues. So kind of always had a little bit of a chip on our shoulder. All of us growing up in New Mexico did. There weren't very many scouts there when we first started playing, and every one of my teammates kind of had that same little chip on our shoulder, so I guess kept it all this way.
There's a decent list, so I've gone through, and we'll talk about the one play, and I know it wasn't, the best play on your end, but it's really cool because it's the only time this has ever happened in the history of baseball. We'll get to that later. But there's a number of guys. Max Fried of the Braves, Ryan Sheriff, Tampa Bay. I think I was reading some other pictures. Is there some sort of camaraderie between those 15, 20 Jewish baseball players?
100%, and honestly, I was actually considering playing. I was going to consider playing for Team Israel in the WBC until I broke my finger. And but yeah, there's a group text of guys, and it's always fun to talk with them. It's a brotherhood. There's not many of us.
So when you got drafted by the Astros, you had to grind your way up through the minor leagues, and that was some of the questions we had from kids is how much does it take, physically and mentally, to spend the couple of years that you did going through the minors to reach your goal? What was that like for you, knowing that, all right, I just got picked in the first round, one of the best college players, it's definitely possible, I keep seeing my name on these top prospect lists, but I'm here in Lancaster and Corpus Christi and all these places just for a little bit more?
No, it's the minor leagues is a grind, way more so than LSU or it's tough. You're away from home. So first off, my mom was like, when I got drafted and went to the minor leagues, and I went to Iowa to start with, Quad Cities. So,
50 minutes away from where I'm from.
Yeah, so my mom said, aren't you glad you went to college? Like, you've been away, you know how to deal with this. I was like, yeah, Mom, you're right. But there's a lot of high school kids that sign, and it's really tough on them because immediately you are away from home. You're on bus rides for 12 hours every 3 days to different small towns, whether it's the Midwest or the California League or wherever. And you better grow up quick because it's the real world now, and you're eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every single day for lunch, and I guess now that when you get to the big leagues it pays off because we're lucky with 2 chefs now, but I think we appreciate it a lot more because of what we went through in the minor leagues, and it's definitely a grind. It's tough. You better love the game of baseball if you want to make it to the big leagues because of the travel, the food, the amount of time that you're on the field. In the minor leagues, there's no show up to the ballpark at 1 and have nice air conditioning inside and go out and go into a dome stadium with 40,000 people there. You're on the field at 10 a.m. and it's 110 degrees and you're losing 10 pounds every month and you're trying to improve in every facet of the game and have one person that's a scout in the stands or somebody like you so that you move up, and it's just tough. It's a lot different, and if you better love the game if you want to get to the big leagues.
You're telling me the Quad City River Bandits didn't have a private chef?
It was me. I was making PB&J for the boys.
So you started in Quad Cities. Quad Cities I'm from Iowa, so I'm about 50 minutes away from there. It's a small place, smaller than Albuquerque, about half the size. Definitely smaller than Baton Rouge, and actually kind of similar, but not a college environment. And then obviously much smaller than Houston. You went from Quad Cities to where?
I went from Quad Cities to Lancaster, and when I was in Quad Cities, it was the first stop out of college. I was taken second. I came to Minute Maid Park. I got to work out with the whole team, and then after working out with the team, they're like, all right, see ya, you're going to Quad Cities. And I don't know what to expect, and move in, have 3 roommates I've never met, and I struggled. I struggled terribly. I was probably 20 pounds under where I should have been weight-wise. I just had played a college baseball season, where we went to Omaha and lost, and my body was kind of beat down a little bit, and struggled mightily actually when I started. And I was thinking to myself, like, wow, I got a long way to go to get to the big leagues. If this is the kind of competition that I'm facing, I got a long way to go, and I got to get a lot better. And from Quad Cities, at the end of the year, I started to play a little bit better and got moved up to Lancaster, California, where it was hot, and we were on the field for a long, long time, and another small town, but a lot of fun.
And then you went from there to AA?
Yeah, so that year I struggled, and it was because I was hitting a lot of ground balls. And when I got into the Astros organization, they were kind of on the analytical rise, and they were trying to teach players how to maximize their abilities. And they told me that if I wanted to maximize my abilities and get to the big leagues, I needed to hit the ball in the air. And so as soon as I got home for the off season, my hitting coach and I got in the cage, and we were like, we need to figure out how to hit the ball in the air, or we're never going to make it up. So we started in Corpus Christi, and when we got to Corpus Christi, the wind blows at about 30 miles an hour straight out to left field. So I learned, hey, if I hit the ball in the air and basically pop it up to left field, it's a home run, and that's a great thing. So I started, over the course of time, started learning how to hit the ball in the air, and kind of learned what kind of baseball player I am and where my strengths are. And the All-Star break, I got moved up to Fresno for AAA.
How was Fresno?
Fresno was Fresno. It was great. I liked it because it was one level higher, you know.
Yeah.
For me, it was always, can I be the best player at that level? And if I do that, I think I can move up. So when I got to Fresno, the only thing on my mind was I'm one step away. I'm right here. I can get there. I just need to play well. And I started off unlike normal. Whenever I got to Lancaster, whenever I got to Corpus, I struggled. When I got to Fresno, I was on fire. We started like the first 3 weeks, I think, right after the All-Star break, I think I was hitting 400 with maybe 10 home runs in a 3-week span. And I'm thinking, okay, we're playing in Round Rock. Houston is 3 hours down the road. It's time to get called up. Let's do this. And I guess they had different plans. So I flew home at 3 a.m. from Round Rock to Fresno and went 0 for 12, I think. I think I got a little too high. I think I was feeling good. I was like, I'm going to get called up. And then when the call didn't come, I was pretty down, and I got sent back to Fresno and struggled for 3 games, 0 for 12. I'm like, dang, I'm never going to get called up. It's going to not be till next year. My phone rings at 4 a.m. I'm like, why 4 a.m.? But it rang at 4 a.m. And they're like, wake up. You're on the first flight to Houston. You're getting called up to the big leagues. I was like, holy cow.
2016, right?
Yeah. So,
very few people get to experience that moment. I've talked to a number of guys that gone through it this year, J.J. Matajevic, David Hensley, guys that have gotten that feeling. But when you get that call at 4 a.m. knowing that everything I've worked for and everything I've dreamed about is on the other side of the 6 a.m. flight, what is that like?
it's crazy. It was honestly the biggest rush I've ever had in my entire life. I called my mom. She was crying. My dad was crying. I actually pranked them first. I said, hey guys, they told me that I'm going back down to AA, and they're like, oh my God, why? And I was like, I'm just kidding. I'm going up to the big leagues. And they're like, what? They were on the first flight. I think I played for free that night because we pay for our tickets. A lot of my friends don't understand that. We pay for our tickets, so I'll have everyone's asking for World Series tickets. I'm like, yeah, I pay for those. So, but I didn't realize that when I first got called up to the big leagues. So I'm like, yeah, bring whoever, everyone, let's go. I'm leaving tickets for everybody. So I think I played, actually probably not the first night, but I think I played for free for about the first 2 weeks of my big league career because I had about 75 people in the family section on my debut. Wouldn't have changed it for the world though. Where was I going? Oh, so I called my mom. And I told my mom, my dad, everyone's getting on the flight. I don't think there's ever been a rush like that I've ever felt in my life. I am going to get to live out my dream and play in the big leagues. And Like, it was crazy.
So
I was doing a lot of that too. I
Yeah.
was crying.
we can do a quick power rankings here. It's kind of an unfair question, but getting called up, winning first World Series, winning second World Series, having your son.
We'll go with Knox number 1.
Okay?
We'll go with World Series number 2,
Okay.
World Series number 1, and then getting called up.
So called up is at the bottom.
Now,
Now.
at the time, it was definitely number
At
1.
the time, it was quite a run. So you get called up in 2016. You are this hyped prospect. Everyone thought that you were going to go up, and the Astros were spending years rebuilding, and finally, the year before, they had become pretty good, and they're starting to go toward what you guys are now. And you did not play very well these first couple weeks.
I did not. So I got called up, and I was ready to go. I was super excited. I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. And the first game, I think, my first at bat, I get a cut fastball from Michael Pineda, middle in, right where I want it, and I just miss it and pop it up about 300 feet in the air to left field. And I'm like, dang, I should have homered right there. My next at bat, I'm facing him again, and I strike out, and I'm like, dang, okay, this is tough. Next at bat, I come up with the bases loaded and the game on the line. Every single person in Minute Maid Park is on their feet, standing up, and I absolutely crush a ball to right field. And I think it's a grand slam. I think I just won us the game. And the right fielder goes back and catches it at the warning track. There's a video, and you could see my parents' faces. Like, my parents are like holding each other like, it's a home run. And then they're like, oh. And my mom's like crying because she wanted to go out of the yard, and my dad's just like, should have hit that a little bit lower. What are you doing? So it was a tough start, to say the least, for the career. I think I started off 1 for 17 and got my first hit when we were in Detroit. The guys gave me a hard time in the dugout. They pretended to grab the ball that I got my first hit with and throw it into the stands because they know that I wanted to keep it. But it was tough. I think I started 1 for 36, but I think what we talked about earlier is baseball is a game of failure, and you got to learn how to deal with failure, and it's a game of life, really. So you can draw back to certain memories throughout your baseball career that you've learned from. For me, it was a moment my freshman year in college. I had an awesome freshman year in college, won shortstop of the year in the country. It's called the Brooks Wallace Award, and was first team All-American, and we're going to Omaha. We're doing great. And the first game in Omaha, we have the best team in the country, no doubt about it. And the first game in Omaha, we're tied 1-1 with UCLA, who went on to win the World Series that year. And in the 8th inning, we're tied, and the ground ball hit to shortstop, and it goes right through my legs. That run comes in to score. We lose the game, and we lose the next day, and we're eliminated. And in my head, I'm like, I just lost the College World Series for my team. The next year, show up to campus and start off hot, and then I go 4 for 50 when we started SEC play. And I learned, for me, the only way to get out of a slump, and I think there's slumps in life, there's slumps in baseball, the only way for me to get out of a slump is to work. So I got in the cage and said, you need to figure it out, and you need to work your tail off. That's all you've ever done. And finished the year strong, and flash forward to that moment in the big leagues when I'm struggling. I'm like, hey, I've dealt with this before. I can do this. I've been through this, and was able to get out of it and finish the year strong.
You apply that every year now because no one puts together 36 straight hot weeks. You have good weeks, you have bad weeks, you have amazing weeks. So you kind of think back to that moment to when you're having a rough week on just, hey, I'm going to fix this, I'm going to go back.
100%, and nothing comes without hard work. So I think for me, as soon as I struggle, I go to the video room and I say, what am I doing differently that I wasn't doing before? I pull video and I compare it side by side, and I try and figure out mechanically what's going on with my swing, and then I go to the cage and try and apply it. And for me to hitting always comes with repetition, and it's all about repeating. So I go into the cage and I try and repeat as much as possible, and it's been fortunate enough to be able to get out of some slumps.
You're a big part of what I think anyone can say is the golden era of Astros baseball. And it's not just you. You guys have all sort of come up together, which is really special, where Carlos Correa and Jose Altuve and you and Yuli Gurriel and all these guys have kind of come up as a group. What was that like when you guys were first starting to turn into a good team? And I know they were kind of, 2015, they were pretty good before you came up. But then in 2017, you kind of really feel like, hey, we have a contender here.
Yeah, we had a really young team, and I think we really still have a really young team, and I think it's exciting, and I think I would say, yeah, it's a great era for Houston baseball, and you can really tell in the city that it's a baseball city now, and everyone loves the Astros, and we love that. And we had a very young team in 2017, a lot of guys that had either just gotten called up to the big leagues or were just starting out in their career. And I think there was a collective group of guys that came up to the big leagues together that kind of had the same mindset. Like in professional baseball, in the minor leagues, it's you worry about yourself trying to get to the big leagues, and it's a very selfish game. But in college and in the big leagues, it's all about team. It's all about winning. And there are certain qualities of winning teams that I just saw in every young player on that team. And it starts with just accountability and work ethic. And I think all the guys on our team held each other accountable. Like, are you working? Okay, because our goal is to win this World Series, so you better be working your tail off. Are you helping out your teammates when they're struggling? Because we're going to need you to do that if we want to win a World Series. Are you playing hard every single day when you show up to the ballpark? Are you locked in? Are you focused? Are you ready to compete? And you could see every single guy in that room, without a doubt, the only thing on their mind was win. And it's a culture that's been built through the minor leagues, through our player development. And I think everyone's getting to see that now is just that the guys want to win, and that's all they're focused on. And it's special to be a part of a group like that, and I think that's how you maintain success at the highest level.
What's it like when the switch flipped a little bit with you guys, where you're coming up in 2015, it was a good team, you go to the wild card, and the expectation was you'd be decent, be a good team, can play. 16, same thing, you're kind of still growing. After 17, you win the World Series, and as soon as that happens, the expectation goes from we have to be good, we have to compete, to we are now expected to win the World Series every year. And you've been dealing with that now. Target on your back for the last few years. What is it like playing in that environment versus, hey, we have to be good?
I think that it's fun and all to be the team that is, oh, you guys are a great story. You guys are shocking the world. You guys are great. But I think it's way more fun to be the team that's expected to win and have all the pressure in the world on you to go out there and win, and then go do it. And I think everyone in that clubhouse is up to that challenge, and the level of pressure that the guys put on themselves in practice prepares them for the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs of our season on the line. They're prepared for it, and I think preparation is key, and I don't think we want anything less than to be expected to win the World Series every single year. And if it's not a win the World Series, it's a failure. And we all accept that, and we want it.
Do you credit that mindset and that player development to the way that some of the younger guys in this year's World Series, I know that you've kind of been through the wars. Correa had been through the wars. Altuve, you guys have had these constant pressure at bats over years in the playoffs. But when David Hensley comes up and you guys are losing to the Mariners in Game 1 of the DS, he's never had that. Neither has Jeremy Pena. Very little experience in that, and Yordan Alvarez, and those guys all deliver. Do you credit that mindset team-wide for the way that they all delivered in sort of their first time dealing with that?
Well, I think a few things. We talked about it a little bit earlier when it's like when you're struggling, who do you call on to help you? And I think that now that we've had a lot of guys go through that, we're able to help guys like a Pena or like David Hensley or other guy or McCormick and guys who haven't had those per se pressure-packed at bats. We're able to put pressure on them in practice and I'll challenge Pena every single day in batting practice. I'm like, game on the line, dude. Let's see what you got. And they continue to come through every single time. So we put pressure on each other. We definitely, I think we definitely have a culture that's very, there's a togetherness of our group to where when Jeremy Pena comes into a clubhouse and there's a group of guys that have played in the big leagues for 10 years, he's not afraid to go up to a guy and be like, hey man, I need some help with this. How should I do this? And I think that's not something that is league-wide. I think that a lot of teams, like the rookies, are like very quiet and they don't talk to anybody, and it's kind of like the old traditional way of doing things. But for us, it's, hey, we all are we're all on the same team. We're all pulling on the same end of the rope. If you need something, come ask somebody and we'll help you out. And I mean, I think the amount of failure that they've seen in the minor leagues, Pena, for example. Pena comes up, sets the world on fire to start with. He's on fire. He's hit 2 walk-off home runs. Second half of the season comes, and he struggles really badly the last 2 months. And everyone's like, oh my God, what's going on? All this stuff. And Pena just continues to keep his head down, working. And when the playoffs come around, he wins the ALCS MVP, he wins the World Series MVP, and he just plays like a rock star down the stretch. And I think it's a togetherness that this group has that's extremely important if you want to build a winning culture.
So not every clubhouse, you're kind of mentioning, is a tight one, but for those of us who've never kind of played in that environment or the people who've never even been in the clubhouse, what is the clubhouse like?
Clubhouse is awesome. Guys show up at about 1, how I was saying, to the field, and we got baseball on TV. Guys are watching the other teams play. The East Coast games are on before ours, so we're watching baseball. We're playing cards. We're eating food together. It's just a giant brotherhood. And I was actually fortunate enough to go by a bunch of the fire stations this last week in Houston and meet with a lot of the firefighters. And to be honest, it's the same kind of clubhouse feel. It's just it's a brotherhood. It's a togetherness, and it's just like a bunch of guys trying to accomplish one goal, and we do everything together. When we go on the road, we're all going to team dinners together. We're hanging out off the field, on the field. Our wives are good friends, and it's a good group.
You also have a relatively unique clubhouse when it comes to Major League Baseball because the Astros have more Latino players than any other team by far. I want to say like 2/3, something close to the team, 16 guys. You speak some Spanish. It's pretty good Spanish that you learned in the minor leagues. One, why did you feel like it was important for you to be able to speak a second language, being Spanish, and what does it take to grind out learning a language as an adult? Because when you're a kid, it's easy. I learned English when I was 5, but when you're 20 in the minors, it's not that easy.
No, so I was fortunate enough to have a mom who told me you need to learn Spanish at a young age. And in school, I was in Spanish class since I was 5 years old, and learned some vocabulary. Wasn't the best at it, but tried really hard. And my mom told me that if I didn't pass my Spanish test, I wouldn't be able to play on the middle school basketball team. So I passed my Spanish test so I could do that. And when I was 15, I got to play for Team USA, and we got to travel to Mexico. We got to travel to Colombia. In college, we got to go to Cuba. And I got to spend a lot of time around Spanish players, Latino players that were exceptional baseball players. And for me, I was always trying to pick something up from somebody else and learn from them. And I felt like in order to communicate, I needed to be able to speak their language. And it was, I always say, entiendo, pero hablo un poquito, because I don't speak, I understand it, but I only speak a little bit of it fluently, I guess. And when I got into the minor leagues, I would say 50% of my teammates spoke Spanish, and my mom always said, you want to be a leader, you have to be able to communicate, and great leaders are great communicators. So I wanted to be able to communicate with everybody. And I had a few teammates. One of my teammates, actually, Ramon Laureano, when I was in Quad Cities, helped me out a bunch. I was okay at Spanish. I understood when they were giving me a hard time. But I asked him to help me out, and he was always asking me questions about my swing, and I would say, hey, you need to help me learn Spanish. And he's like, deal. So I learned a lot from him, and then now being blessed to be able to play next to Correa and Altuve and Yuli for so long, and we're always in the same group, whether it's batting practice or taking ground balls and everything like that, so we're always speaking Spanish. So they helped me a lot.
I've heard not only is your Spanish good, but your Dominican Spanish is pretty good.
It's all right. Yuli says Cuban Spanish. I say I'm one of the Cuban guys. So,
So you not only do you have success on the field, you do a lot of stuff off the field. Charitable works. I think one of the first times that I interacted with you off the field, COVID hits, and you really quickly got into action to, hey, food bank needs food. They need some people to help get the word out there, to help people come bring food to the food bank, and you wanted to come out and help them. Joined up with our good friend Paul Wall to do that. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about when did you know that you wanted to start Bregman Cares, that you wanted to work with some of the things that you do with autism awareness and the food bank, and now with Lily's Toy Box?
Yeah, well, I first say a lot of that, most of the credit goes to Reagan on a lot of these initiatives that we've been doing in the community, and it's one of the things I really admire about her, and I think both of us want to try and make as big of a difference in this community. It's given us so much. We want to try and give back as much as possible, and so many people actually in this room have helped out with a lot of our initiatives, and the food bank, for example, David Frankfurt right here actually helped coordinate the entire thing for us, and we were able to raise about, I think, $2 million and get food to kids who were food insecure during the pandemic. And it's honestly the most important thing for us, to be honest with you, is to try and make an impact in this community and help people. And when we were in 2015, I got drafted, and my hitting coach, who's one of my best friends, his name's Jason Columbus, his son, we found out, had autism. So we wanted to try and make a difference in the autism community, and we started by buying iPads and putting them in classrooms to help kids be able to communicate. There's a program called Pro Lo Quo that helps these children communicate and learn, and we started trying to do that across Houston and Albuquerque, and we saw the kind of difference that it made. And with Brady, my godson, and how much he had learned. He's, by the way, fully communicating now, hitting home runs in his backyard, doing amazing. And a lot of that has to do with the Pro Lo Quo programs, the communication that he had, and also Houston, Texas, by the way, is incredible. The teachers. The hospitals, we've met so many people, whether it's Sean at Think Neurology, and so many people that have helped out in the autism community. This is literally one of the best places for kids to learn in the country. Like Jason said, hey, I know your contract's up in 2 years, but if you leave, I'm not. so I better stay.
He can make the first call to Jim Crane.
Yeah. So we started doing a lot of work with kids with autism, and we have kind of have a long-term goal of opening up a school here in Houston for kids with autism, and we're working towards that goal right now, thanks to so many people in this room and out of this room, and I think we're off to a good start doing that. But there's many other initiatives, like you said, with Lily's Toy Box that Reagan started with Lily a few years ago, and we actually just got done at Thornwood Elementary. We were handing out some toys to some kids for Christmas, and it's been pretty awesome to be partnered with Lily in doing that and trying to help some kids put some smiles on their faces during the holidays. But yeah, it's been awesome, and we look forward to continuing to help out this community a lot.
So, since we're talking about toys, what was your favorite Hanukkah gift when you were a kid?
I think my favorite Hanukkah gift when I was a kid, probably when I was younger, it was definitely Legos. But when I got a little bit older, it was Mark McGuire baseball card and a bunch of different baseball cards. My mom actually tells a story. It was during Hanukkah, and I just got this Lego set, and our house got broken into and robbed, and the only the only room they didn't take anything out of in the whole house was mine, because my Legos were spread out across the room. And I disobeyed my mother by not cleaning my room before we left, so
Guy would have been stepping on Legos.
Yeah,
the
he
whole
didn't want to go
time.
through that.
You also recently have I know you've kind of done this for a while, but it's really turned out these last couple of years. You have your own salsa and sauces and rub and now beef jerky.
I'm trying to get the K for the kosher on there. We're working on that.
We need some blessings on the beef jerky, yeah.
It's no pork. There's no pork, but yeah, Tyler, who's here, he's been my best friend since we were in Albuquerque. Actually, the last time he was at synagogue was actually my bar mitzvah. He and I have been working on Breggy Bomb food products. It started off as like a fun thing. We grew up in New Mexico together, and we loved salsa. And our favorite place to go eat salsa in New Mexico is a place called Sadie's. So Tyler and I, the Sadie's team flew out to Florida in 2018 during spring training, and they were like, "Hey, we want you to come up with your own salsa so we can make it." And we didn't know what to do, and we were like, "All right, well, what should we put in this?" And my wife loves tequila, so we put a little bit of tequila and lime in there, and it was pretty good. And then we got to Texas, and we were like, we need to do something more Texas. So we launched some barbecue sauce, some barbecue rubs, and some beef jerky, and it's been awesome. It's the best stuff.
Swamp sauce.
Yeah.
Now it's the Wagyu beef jerky is the newest thing, right?
A little swamp, a little South Texas is what we have on the label.
Okay. And then you also have some other interests, including horse racing, which has done really well this year. So for some of the people that don't know, you and your family own some horses, and they race at Churchill Downs, they race at all these famous places, and have done well. How did you get into horse racing?
So my grandfather, when I was about maybe 13 years old, he would sneak me out of school some days, and I'd go with him and watch the horses run, because my great-grandfather used to do that with my dad. And our whole family had always loved horse racing. And one of my family close friends was Hank Allen. He played for the Washington Senators back in the day. And my grandfather was best friends with him, and he ended up, after playing baseball, went into training horses. And we've had a love affair for it forever. And this last year, my dad got appointed to the I don't even know what the name of it is, but I think he's the head of like the horse racing commission in Albuquerque. And so I said, "Dad, we need to get our own horse." And we got a few horses, and they've been running. And actually, we've had a few winners. Initially, we got a few horses that I didn't know if they were any good, so I purchased them in Reagan's name, so it wouldn't come back to me if they lost. Both the ones that I purchased in her name are the two winners, and she's like, "They're mine, they're not yours." So we've been having fun with it. We just got back from Florida. We have a few babies down there that Tyler and I just went and saw, and it's a lot of fun for us. It's kind of competing, and we like competing.
So I saw that when your horses first kind of started winning, it was around the Kentucky Derby. So I was doing an interview with Randy Moss, horse racing Randy Moss, not football Randy Moss. And I asked him to look it up. I said, "Hey, Astros third baseman Alex Bregman has some horses. Can you kind of, your expertise and look up what you think? So he goes into the little database that he has access to and looks it up and sees how much money you paid for the horse. Then he goes over and sees I think the horse got like second place in the race and goes, made his money back in one race. That never happens. So it looks like you've had some luck.
We were lucky, but Reagan's job is she likes naming them.
Okay.
So they have some good names. Our favorite name is Game 7. It's after the World Series, the one that we won. He's 1 for 1.
What are some of the other horse names?
Well, there's Baby Got Backspin.
Yep.
There is Candy Landy, which was a typo, and she's mad at me about that still. I typed it in wrong. The dad's name was Candy Ride, and we tried to name it Candyland, and we got Candy Landy. I'm in trouble about that one. We have like Mo Caliente. We have a few Spanish names, but all good.
Yeah. So we had a lot of great questions from the people that are here tonight at Beth Yeshurun, covering multiple different topics, some baseball, Judaism background, and things like that. So I have no idea how long or short we're going. I'm just doing stuff.
All
so
good.
we're gonna go through some of these questions, and a few of them we've kind of covered through here. But we're gonna start with an easy one, a baseball one. Barbara and Paul ask, who is the toughest pitcher you have ever faced and why?
So when I was doing the hitting diagram earlier and I said 20 inches of horizontal movement, Jonathan Loizaga for the Yankees, this postseason I was facing him. And I had faced him in years past, and normally you have like kind of like a mental memory bank of guys that you face, and you kind of remember what their pitch shapes look like. And this guy's throwing a two-seam fastball that I've never seen one look like this before. It looks like it is going into their dugout, and it's right down the middle. And I'm taking it, I'm like, wow, that's right down the middle, strike one. Well, take again, that's strike two. And he's definitely the toughest guy. He throws 100 miles an hour and about 5 or 6 feet before it gets to the plate. It looks like it's one place, and it takes off right in on your hand. So I've broke my bat a few times against him.
So this is cool that you have Knox here for his first Hanukkah and his first experience at the temple. And so Joel asks, what Jewish traditions from your childhood do you hope to pass down to your son?
A lot of them. And I think hopefully one day he'll be able to be bar mitzvahed. And I think that definitely, I think the biggest thing I feel like in the Jewish community that I've been an extremely big fan of over the years has been the togetherness, honestly. I think that I kind of want to, I want to teach him how to be loyal, be a good person. I think my dad always said Jewish people got to stick together, and I want to teach him that.
We'll bounce back and forth. We'll go back to a baseball one here. How do you think the no-shift rule is going to affect you next year?
I love it.
Yeah.
If you hit a ground ball to the left side, there's only 2 guys over there trying to catch it instead of 3, so I like it.
We got Paul Stern. What is the most pressure-packed at-bat that you can remember?
I would say Game 5 of the 2017 World Series, game on the line, Fisher at second base. If we get a hit, we win, and somehow we got a hit.
Why did that one feel, I mean, it's obvious the pressure situation, but why did that one feel bigger than other games?
Probably because it was the World Series. It was the first time I'd ever played in the World Series, and the series was tied 2-2. And if you go up 3-2 in the World Series, you got a darn good chance of winning it.
Yeah. So there, as we kind of talked about, there's a handful of Jewish baseball players. Not too many, but not too few. From Lori, can you give us some insight on what you feel like your role is as one of kind of the more premier Jewish baseball players in the league?
Oh, yeah. I think in this position you have a platform, and you're able to reach a lot of people. And I think I want to work hard. I want kids who dream about playing baseball that are Jewish to believe that they can do it, and they can play in the big leagues, and they can live out their dream too. And I just want to work hard and hopefully prove to them that it's possible.
And I think as you know, as many of us know, being Jewish is not all dreidels and latkes and gifts. There are difficulties that come with it. And so I have a couple questions here. One from Michael. Have you ever encountered any anti-Semitism within Major League Baseball? And if so, what examples would you be able to discuss?
You know, I haven't. I've been blessed with amazing teammates, coaches, support staff, just great people. And no, I've never experienced it. And I'm definitely happy to say that, and I'm definitely proud to be a part of a team and an organization and a community that I haven't personally faced any of that.
In terms of obviously why we celebrate Hanukkah was the Jewish people under attack, and that's something that has recently kind of been at a higher level lately throughout the world, throughout the United States. So we have a question here from Ira. What can you do as a prominent Jewish athlete to make a positive difference in speaking out against those who would harm the Jewish people?
Yeah, so growing up, my dad and my mom have always told me to stand up for what you believe in and to speak on it. And I think that us as athletes have the platform to be able to stand up and say what we believe is right, stand up against any sort of hate, and be good role models, be good people, love one another. And I think, personally, we all need a little bit more togetherness in the world right now, and we all need to be kinder to one another. And I think it's important to be able to stand up for what you believe in and speak on it.
So before we kind of get into the last thing here about what the city of Houston has meant to you, I want to bring up from earlier, you were part of the most Jewish play in the history of the World Series. Mm-hmm. Only once in history.
I got out in this play, I think.
Yes, you did get out, unfortunately, in this play. But the pitcher, Max Fried of the Atlanta Braves, is Jewish. Alex was batting. He flew out to right field to Jock Peterson, who is Jewish. It is the only time in Major League history that a Jew is the only one to touch the ball for all of a play in the World Series.
Well, I'll tell you this. Although I was extremely angry that I got out, that's my favorite out that I've ever made in my career.
Well, the funny part is I asked you about that after the World Series, and you were just like, we just lost the World Series. I will think about that that later. And I talked to Fried about it at the All-Star game, and he sort of had no idea. Yeah. But it's funny that, and you guys and Garrett Stubbs, so the four of you is the most Jews in a World Series ever. Happened last year, and we're kind of waiting for that play to happen where all three of you guys touched the ball, and unfortunately it was a flyout, but it did happen. So, for all the things that you go down as most home runs by a third baseman in World Series history, you contributed to that too.
Well, I wish that one would have been a home run. The fan would have thrown it back onto the field. He would have picked it up, and everyone would have touched it.
Jewish fan, throw it back to Jock Peterson, yeah. So the last thing I want to talk about, we are here in Houston, and you've really embraced the city. I think the city has embraced you. You see, obviously here, all the Bregman jerseys, they're everywhere at the ballpark. Not only that, I mean, guys who are entrenched in this city that we talked about, like Paul Wall, like Mattress Mac, you are their favorite player. Out of all of the great Houston Astros, it's Alex Bregman, kind of the favorite player. What do you feel about the city of Houston, how it's kind of raised you coming in Major League Baseball, and what the city has meant to you?
Well, the city's meant the world to me. It's the second home now. We got to have our son here now. My wife's family is from here, and it's been amazing. They've welcomed us with open arms since day one, through the ups, through the MVP chants to the boos. It's been great to be honest with you. So every step of the way, it's been a blast. We love the city. The people here are amazing. I think that's the best part about Houston is the people. Next, I think just the togetherness of everything has been special to be a part of. Right when I got called up, the following year, Hurricane Harvey hit, and just to see the city come together like that, it was special. And I think not only myself, but my teammates definitely feel loved, and like this city is a family, and like we help one another through things. We hope to provide some excitement and some joy during baseball season for everybody. And when it's not baseball season, we love getting out into the community and hanging out with people, and it's special. We'll always have a home here forever, and we'll always cherish every single person that we meet, and every single memory that we'll make here in this city, and hopefully we can make a few more and win a few more World Series and celebrate a few more Hanukkahs together.
Alex, thank you so much for joining us for this Q&A, answering questions for the congregation here. David Stein, if you'd like to come up and say a few words, but glad to have two-time World Series champion and one of the greatest Jewish baseball players of all time join us for Hanukkah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nev.
Wow, what a great evening this has been. I'd first like to give a huge thank you to Lori and Benny Herzog. Lori, your hard work and dedication to this event made it all possible. Exactly. When Alex came in, there was such a huge sigh of relief on Lori's face, but we knew Alex wouldn't let us down. Also, I know Lori mentioned, but thank you so much to the entire Beth Yeshurun staff for setting everything up and preparing for almost 1,000 people here tonight on kind of a short notice. So thank you. There's too many of you to name, but you know who you are. To the entire staff, thank you so much. Thank you also to Gil Macedo and all of our officers who have worked so diligently to keep us safe, not just tonight, but all year round. Gil, I don't know if you're in here, but thank you and your team so much. And now to the A-team, Alex Bregman and Ari Alexander. Two, I think we can all admit, two real mensches. Thank you both for taking the time to be with us tonight. Now, I feel like I'm a rabbi giving a bar mitzvah charge. Ari, come on over here. Y'all actually could have been bar mitzvah partners. Y'all look.
Yeah, well, three years difference. But, well, we got confused for each other at Mount Met a couple weeks ago.
There you go.
So Ari, on behalf of the synagogue, we have a few gifts for you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I know you got married a few months ago,
Yeah.
about 8 months ago. So we have in here a Hanukkah. I'm not going to unwrap it all, but I'll tell you what it is. It's a Hanukkah menorah for you and your wife, as well as a Michael Aram picture frame. You can put your beautiful wedding photos in there. And they were both gifts from our congregation gift shop. So if you don't like it, or maybe more importantly, your wife doesn't like it, they can come here and exchange it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wait, there's more.
Oh, there's more.
So I don't know if many of you remember this, but Ari Alexander actually spoke to us earlier this year for 100 Jewish Men. It was one of the most well-attended ones we've had, and hopefully you'll come back and do it again.
Anytime you'll have me.
But I'm offering you a lifetime membership to Congregation Beth Yeshurun.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time, Ari. I know you're busy. I know you're a busy guy with being the sports anchor and sports reporter for KPRC. But thank you very much for taking the time to be with us.
Thank you guys for having me. This is wonderful.
All right, Alex. All right, Alex, your turn. Alex, you were a star both on the field and off the field. Not only do you make the Houston community proud, but looking at the attendance here tonight, you definitely make the Jewish community proud as well. When you decide to hang up your cleats, you may want to go to rabbinical school because I guarantee you every Shabbat and every high holiday would be packed. I don't know if that's in the cards for you or not, but we actually have a few gifts for you too. The first thing I'd like to offer you or to give you is a gift basket, which is courtesy of the Celebration Company and the Jewish Family Service. For those of you who are not familiar with the Celebration Company, they provide life skills and meaningful employment to individuals with disabilities. They create art, photography, and products that celebrate the goodness of life. So this is, Reagan's probably going to have to help you with this, but there's a bunch of goodies in here for you from the Celebration Company. So we also have, you can put that down. You don't have to hold it. So we also have a few other gifts for you.
Yeah,
We have an autographed baseball from Rabbi Brian Strauss, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, Rabbi Stephen Morgan, and Rabbi Sarah Fort. So I know you've autographed your share of baseballs, but that's one for you. You can put that in your trophy case. We also have a onesie for Knox.
Aww.
It's from our Beth Yeshurun Day School, so hopefully maybe he'll get enrolled there. It says, future Beth Yeshurun Day School graduate. Start growing here. Throw that back in there if you want. And let's see, we've got some other goodies here for you. Mostly for Knox, I think. We have his first plush dreidel.
Aww.
His Astros yarmulke. Or for you. We have a beautiful dreidel Hanukkah menorah. I'll just keep it up here. Plus, you can't have menorah without candles. Let's see, there's a few dreidels in here.
We need those.
Yeah. There's some Hanukkah gelt, some dreidels. Anyway, it's a lot of Hanukkah stuff. So this is for you.
Thank you so much.
Or for Knox. Or for Reagan. I know you were talking about your son maybe one day becoming bar mitzvahed. So just so you know, you two are being given a lifetime membership to Congregation Beth Yeshurun. And in just a few years, whenever you're ready, we'll give Knox his bar mitzvah date, get it all settled up. But last, and probably most importantly, I have a check for you. One second. So, it's a check in the amount of $5,000 from Congregation Beth Yeshurun to Bregman Cares. As you so beautifully talked about the things that you do with your foundation and the support you give to those families with children with autism and now to Lily's Toy Box, I know this is going to good use. So congratulations to you. Thank you for all you do for the Jewish community, for the Houston community, and I think I speak for everyone here where I hope you retire a Houston Astro. So now before we conclude, I think Alex has another few words he'd like to say.
Thank you guys so much for tonight. It's meant the world to myself and my family.
Any kids that are here today, if you guys want to come up here, let's take a big group picture up here. Let's do it.
I will tell you, this tells you what kind of person Alex Bregman is. How about a round of applause? And if you've got those rally towels, let's give them a big wave for Alex Bregman.